In our interview earlier this evening, we talked about how many museums and historical sites Israel has to offer. One of the most popular museums in the Holy Land is the Palmach Museum, which commemorates a militia that helped establish the State of Israel. ILTV's Denise Wood went to the museum and sat down with a former Palmach fighter, and you won't want to miss out on his story.
Israel's known for having a very strong military, and it turns out that was the case even before the state was founded. We're here at the Palmach Museum to give you a look at what came before Israel's military and how that led to its present. It's well known that Israel won its War of Independence in 1948. But have you ever stopped to wonder, how did it have such a great army before it was a state? The answer is they already had an army, and it was called the Palmach.
It was established in May 1941 as a mobilized unit from the underground movement Haganah. The main force here for the Haganah, that till 15th of May 48 carried out the major battles here. It was the Harel Brigade, where I was a member of this brigade and for fighting there, which actually secured the way to Jerusalem and Jerusalem itself.
The Palmach was dissolved in the middle of Israel's war for independence, and the Israeli army was created. But even though the Palmach wasn't officially a group after that, many of its members continued to serve in the IDF and share their values of sacrificing for the common good to contribute to the newly formed state.
I decided to stay in the army because I thought that 1948-49 is not yet the last war yet to fight. Main commanders of the army, even chief of staff, were for many years members of former members of Palmach.
The State of Israel recognizes how important the Palmach was in building the nation, which can be seen in the Palmach Museum in Tel Aviv. IDF soldiers even help staff the museum, which is one of the most visited museums in the country.
But the story of Palmach is a unique story of establishing the State of Israel, or defense of the army. And this is the reason why former members of Palmach decided to build up the Museum of the Palmach, which we are now here. I think it's the most visited museum in Israel.
The museum is filled with personal accounts of Palmach members, instead of just providing visitors with a list of facts. The museum itself has interactive stations, and you can even check out hundreds of photos from the Palmach and War for Independence. The result is that guests literally feel like they've stepped through the pages of history. And while it certainly was a difficult history, Palmach members like Yitzhak Arad said they would do it all again if they had to.
To be happy with such a life, it's hard to say. But if the fate of the Jewish people in our generation should be as it was, I wouldn't select for me another life than the fate put me. 3 children, 11 grandchildren, and 7 grandchildren, all of them in Israel, and I'm quite proud of it, because we were fighting not only for us. We established the state not only for us, we established the state for our children and grandchildren.
So whether you're a history buff or new to the subject, the Palmach Museum gives visitors a glimpse of what it was like for soldiers in the Palmach, who believed that in order to have a state, they had to establish an army and fight for their freedom.